Hello everybody, this is the Vigilant Soldier and wants to talk to you all about something very important. This is my first video on the education system exposed. Yes, I'm exposing the education system at last. And this is great. We finally exposed the education system, and the first episode, as I said, is on the Big Bang Theory. So let's get to it. Now, the reason we should not be proving the Big Bang Theory is simply because we cannot prove it. It cannot be proven. Now, let me just give you something. We've only just got a picture of Pluto. If we've only just got a picture of Pluto, then if you get what I mean, the technology, it wouldn't even be viable anyway. Like, we've only just got a picture of Pluto, and you're telling me we are before we got a picture of Pluto that we've been because this has been theorized for years, that they've been theorizing that we came to exist through the Big Bang Theory. Now, I understand now, scientists can look into that theory all they want. Yeah, you can look into that theory, I don't care, you can believe what you want. But don't teach it us as if it's a fact. Now, the problem is that when they teach us in school, they're not even teaching it as a theory, they're teaching it as a fact. This shouldn't happen. Like, they don't even teach us as a theory, literally teach it to us and tell us that it all happened. It's basically brainwashing, it's indoctrination. It shouldn't be taught in schools, or at least in public schools, unless you go into a school specifically for scientific theories and stuff like that, like theoretical sciences, then sure, because you go into a theoretical science school and it is a scientific theory, but this is not a fact. It's called a theory for a reason. It's not a fact. Now, this is pretty, basically, this website I found is it's on some forums. It's basically, this is great what this guy's put. He put, as something that science cannot possibly prove through demonstrable, observable experiments, why the religious principles of the Big Bang Theory, which virtually are every single biology book in high schools and science uses their foundation for the science of cosmic evolution still taught in public schools, is crystal clear to anyone with a shred of intellectual honesty that one must believe the Big Bang happened. They cannot know. Wait, so it's basically saying that if in school they're basically teaching to us that we must believe it, but no, we can't believe it. And they're saying they cannot know. It is in no way science. It is a 100% religiously based in terms of beliefs to believe the Big Bang Theory, as does to believe in Jesus, Allah, has Santa Claus for the kids. I'm specifically talking about time, space, and matter appearing. Number one, without time, there is no when. Number two, without space, there is no where. Number three, without matter, there is no what. So basically saying that he's basically saying here that Big Bang Theory is technically a religion, and it is. It's like a religion. They mock us, like when the people who believe in the Big Bang Theory, they mock us saying, "Oh, you believe in this, that." But to be honest, their claims are so much more stupid than ours. And he said, this part is great. It says, "I think it's great we can tell the universe is expanding, but why does this prove the Big Bang and somehow disprove the creator?" He's right. It doesn't. It should be it's not real science. Now, I don't know. I think this guy believes in evolution. I'm not sure, but that's not the point. We're not in evolution this episode. The next episode is evolution. What I'm saying is, it should be not taught in schools. Now, I'm going to give you a scenario here, because the people who believe the Big Bang Theory actually believe in they believe in that this universe is finite. Basically, they believe it's finite because they believe it had a beginning. They believe this universe had a beginning, and let's be honest, we all believe it's going to have an end. That's what they all believe, that it will have an end. So basically, they believe we're in a finite universe because they believe it had a beginning, and they believe it will have an end because that's what they believe. Okay, how can something come out of nothing? Just think about that. How can something come out of nothing? It just doesn't make sense. You can't compute it. Now, I know exactly what they're going to say. They're saying, well, where did God come from? Well, actually, God is eternal. Now, I know exactly what they're going to say. They're going to say the universe is actually infinite and eternal. Well, you could argue that, but the thing is, the Big Bang Theory does not explain that. Now, there is actually a theory that does actually say the universe is eternal or infinite, and it had no beginning. I am actually going to focus one of the videos on this, but this isn't taught in the education system. The moment it's taught in the education system, I will put it in this series, but the moment it's not, therefore that video will be in a different series, or it will just be like a standalone video. Either way, I'm just saying, so basically, that's why we need an eternal creator, because this universe is finite. Basically, most people believe it at the beginning, most people believe it's going to have an end. Now, this means if there was a beginning, something can't come out of nothing. I've already explained that. So there has to be an eternal creator, because for something finite to happen, there has to be something infinite as well. Just try and compute it. Now, I understand, now God is eternal. He had no beginning, he had no end, he just always was. We can't comprehend it. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Same thing applies to electricity. It's like, scientists today can't even comprehend how electricity exists. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist, does it? No, it still works. Same goes with God. God is real, and we can't comprehend him. The Bible even speaks of the mystery of godliness. We were not supposed to understand him because we're finite beings. Will we ever understand him? Yeah, I think. When we get to heaven, we're going to learn about his mysteries. We will learn about these amazing mysteries. But not now. No. We're finite beings, we shouldn't. We are fallen. We shouldn't know this. We're little finite beings. When we go to heaven, I believe that we might be learning about this stuff because we will be changed and we will be in the perfect bodies then. But definitely not right now. We're not supposed to. We can't comprehend it. So yeah, basically, the Big Bang Theory, it's not fact. Sure, scientists can research this to try and prove it. They never will prove it because it's false. But, so yeah, they can try and research it. They can research it all they like. But don't teach it to schools if it's truth. I've been taught this since primary school in Britain, called it. It was year 4 in Britain. So I've been taught this since age like 7 or 8. Since age 7 or 8, I've been taught the Big Bang Theory. Now, that was the when I had my first lesson on it, I remember. I actually believed it as fact, and then I believed it, been taught it in school and other lessons since then. They should not dedicate full lessons to the Big Bang Theory. Now, next video is going to be on evolution, guys. I just want you to understand. Now, basically saying, now this video is not to necessarily disprove the Big Bang Theory, even though, to be honest, I think I actually kind of did a bit of well on that. Because they don't even have this technology to prove it. So their theory is absolutely absurd. Because they believe that the finite universe came out of nothing. It's like, it's just so complicated. Something cannot come out of nothing. You need an eternal creator. It just makes sense. Now there is another thing, as I said, about an eternal universe that would actually be more viable for these atheists, but definitely not the idea that this finite universe came out of nothing. They believe that eternal things don't exist, when there has to actually be something that's eternal to exist. At least this finite stuff to all comes with it. That's why I believe in an eternal God, because if there's an eternal God, then he can create the finite stuff with beginnings and endings. Just try and grasp that, try and understand it, if you get what I mean. And we don't even have the technology to prove it anyway, so it's a theory, it's definitely not proven, we can't prove it, therefore it should not be taught in schools, because this, but the thing is, it's brainwashing, and the elite want kids to believe this. This is Video Soldier, and I'm just going to sign up for now, everyone. Love you all.